the couch.
Yeah, we're literally filming on the couch because
We all just woke up.
It's straight fucking snooze fest.
Yeah, it's the uncut lounge here.
Right. It really is. We're like, we're too fucking lazy.
Those
to set
are
up
two
shop.
of the most pathetic cards I've ever seen back to back. They're just. I don't think there was one exciting fight for me between 9 fights we got to see between the
two events.
UFC
George is talking about the UFC on FX2, which was last night, and tonight we just finished watching Strikeforce Tate versus Rousey. And seriously, if this doesn't spark women's MMA back, because it was the best thing we saw.
Yeah, that was by far.
And we'll get to that, but we're going to start with yesterday, where we got to see the UFC on FX, and the first fight was Court McGee versus Konstantinos Philippou.
And dude, the one thing they kept saying about Philippou is he's a boxer. He's a pro boxer. And it showed.
Yeah,
his footwork, his head movement, his hand. And the first 2 rounds, he dominated Court McGee, and Court McGee came out slow. I love Court McGee. I think he's a great fighter, but he needs to. I don't know.
The thing that we're learning about in MMA is, and probably everybody who's out there is viewing us, is that you can't start out slow.
No.
You can't start out slow
Too
because
short.
we're going to go into the next fight, which was Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse versus Ian McCall. And it was the perfect example.
Wake the judge up.
Yeah, the judges, and this is the thing. This is what I was talking to George about. And if you guys can get this, James will kind of put it up on the green screen in the background. But I said judging can be like a tennis match. And what I mean by that is if George and I were playing in a tennis match and we played 5 sets, and the first set, George beat me 7-6. It was tight as shit. Everybody's like, damn, they're battling out. And then the second set, I beat him 6-0. And then the third set, 6-7 again. And then the fourth set, I beat him 6-0 again. And in the fifth set, we battled it out, and George edged me out in the fifth set. George would win the fucking tennis match, but I would have pretty much dominated the whole fucking, all the sets in the event,
Right.
And that's what happens with fucking mixed martial arts, man.
Well, this came down to a judging error where the guy did not give them the correct score that he had on his own scorecard,
Yeah, so that was
which
even more
prevented
fucked
the
up.
fourth round. And you know what? My bad that I didn't know they were having a 125-pound tournament. Guess what? Now it's all fucked up because now
It wasn't worth
Ian
knowing.
McCall and Mighty Mouse have to have a rematch.
when are they going to fight again?
Who knows?
They're just going to throw him in?
Yeah, they're going to squeeze
I
him
say
in.
pull the fucking dumpster out and let him do it in the back
That's
of
what I
Denny's,
said.
'cause I'll fucking go. I'll
Hotel lobby.
Yeah.
Next
Dude, because
morning.
I'm going to tell you what, Ian McCall looks like that uncle that everyone has that you know is coming over for Christmas, and you're like, fuck, dude, really?
Trying to avoid
He's
him.
coming over?
I mean, man, I'm going to tell you what. I like the stash. I'm going to lie to you. He straight out can't. He was representing he was representing the best picture of the year because he looked like dude from The Artist.
Wow, I missed that one.
Yeah, man.
I
Either that or Monopoly
heard
guy.
that dude had some great lines in that movie.
Yeah.
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 How
But,
was it color?
Huh?
Was it in color?
No.
Anyway, it turns out
No, he wasn't colored.
at the end of the night, it looked like we all thought Demetrius Johnson won.
Right.
But it wasn't because it should have been a draw. There should have been a fourth round. So they both get their wins bonus, and the flyweight tournament's all jacked up, and then that moves us on to the Benavidez fight.
He's the only one that really went ahead and said, "I'm just getting fucking comfortable."
Let me tell you, that
because
shit
I'm
was
fucking like,
that shit was a right hand. And,
tired, man.
wow.
Keep that cannon out my face, bro.
Wow, wow.
I mean, the Benavidez fight was, what was that, Jimmy?
I said that was a hell of a right hand, and if I don't care if he hits McCall or Johnson with it, they're going to sleep.
Yeah, he'll be the champ.
McCall! It's way too late, guys. But anyway,
Benavidez will be the 125 champ. I don't
think
care
so.
I don't care if McCall or Johnson wins. They're going to lose to that cat.
yeah, he looked
I
sharp.
mean, that was sick, that right hand.
Now, moving on to the next one, Thiago Alves.
How is that man's
I
name?
hope I get a
How is that
standing
pronounced?
ovation
How is that pronounced? Alves.
Alves.
Yeah, because the bodybuilder, same way, it's Alves.
You know
Troy
what's funny?
Alves.
Troy Alves. I think you probably pronounce Troy Alves' name Alves too, but everybody just said it. He just like whatever, let it go. Because I have a buddy I grew up with. His last name was Benoit, and everybody called him Benoit. So they said, just let it go.
You knew the Canadian crippler?
No. Huh?
Oh,
No.
Chris.
No.
Benoit?
Actually, it's funny because you know what's funny? His name was Chris Benoit. And
Benoit.
Yeah. And that's what we call
Or
him.
Benoit.
Yeah.
I like Benoit.
I like Benoit.
Like
too. That's
Benoit
what I grew up
Benjamin.
saying.
He
Yeah,
used
I
to play
remember,
in
I
that
remember
Nuba.
Benoit Benjamin, yeah.
Right. Now, so Alves fights Martin Kampmann. I know you guys saw this shit because it was free. You guys in the States who are not in the States.
Let me ask you a question.
Right.
How did you have the fight after the first round?
Alves.
You had Alves
Really?
winning the first round?
I had him winning
Really?
the first round.
Okay.
I thought the first round was. I read about all the fights. I told Jimmy, Alves had the round
see him,
one.
Jimmy?
Yeah, we watched.
Yeah, we watched
it
today.
okay.
But I read about him first.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, Alves had the round one, and I'm like, ooh. I didn't think he won round one all that.
Yeah, because Kampmann
convincingly.
stuck him a few times and had a takedown.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I thought I was just edged him out. I
Okay.
mean, I didn't
Yeah.
think it was. I didn't think, and I definitely think he won the second round.
Right.
Yeah.
And I definitely thought he was winning the third round.
until
He said, you know what? It's only a minute left in this fight, and I'm gonna fucking dive bomb into it with my head down.
And I
didn't understand why he did that.
Here's the thing that blows my mind. Both these dudes have fought GSP. Why not take a page out of that cat's book
Yeah.
and just pull a GSP, box, stay away, and don't go for the takedown?
But that's there's a flip side to that shit, because it's like, you know what? I respect him for saying, at least I'm gonna try to finish this fucking fight and keep it. But it was like, man, why would you just go down with your head down?
you know
like that?
you know who used to do that? Clay.
Clay Guida.
Yeah, he used to do that.
Yeah.
And then
now
he
he's
switched
getting camp
camps.
where they're like, Greg
Now-
Jackson's like, no.
Well,
no,
yeah,
Clay,
he
don't do
turns
that.
them
Don't
into
fucking do that,
machines.
Clay. Yeah. He
It's
does.
the Terminator.
Yeah. Turns them into sleeping machines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he terminates exciting fights. That's
Right,
all
yeah.
Greg Jackson
That's a
does.
good point.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
terminates exciting fights. He's
Clay
creating.
Guida is actually sleep number 65.
Yeah,
What's your sleep number?
22.
GSP's is sleep 35. That's your boy.
Yeah.
That's your homie.
And what I love is this guy's yelling for everyone to get stood up tonight. Josh Thompson fight. All Jimmy's
Right,
doing is
that's
yelling.
what I said.
See, this,
Stand them up.
yeah, and
The
this
guys
is my
on the
problem.
Right.
This is the inconsistency I have with Jimmy. This is what I don't understand.
Right.
All night long on every single card on Strikeforce, Jimmy's yelling, stand him up, and I'm like, Jimmy, this is exactly, and especially Josh Thompson, he did fit. That was GSP.
Well,
He did GSP, and Jimmy's
I'll be
yelling for him to
honest.
stand up.
I don't mind if they stand up GSP. I mean, I truly
But
just
they
want to
don't.
watch. I want to watch. For the most part, stand up fight. That's what I want to watch, and
Right.
I don't mind if
The-
they stand him up.
The
I really
only
don't.
time GSP stands up is when he walks to and from the ring. The rest of the time, he just goes. That's all he does for 25 fucking minutes. Anyway, Strikeforce card tonight. Guess what? Women saved the day yet again.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the dudes on this car suck.
Strikeforce
We're moving on,
men's
huh?
is Strikeforce men's is on life support. The
No.
whole thing.
I mean, and the
it's
thing
getting
is
bad.
that we saw Jacare Souza, and then
He
we
looked
saw him
terrible.
fight
He looked
rotten.
Bristol Marunde. Is that what's his name?
Yeah.
They found him
I don't-
literally
Marlon Day.
somewhere in Columbus.
Dude, that cat's from the Pacific Northwest. I want to know what that dude's heritage is. Bristol Murunde?
I have no idea.
He's Cherokee.
He
or
doesn't
something.
either.
I don't know.
But Jacare to be a former champ, he
spent more time dancing to and from the ring.
didn't look impressive. I mean, am I just seeing something fucked up? Because he looked slow.
he looked
You know
terrible.
what I mean? And I mean, I don't want to. I think a lot of people think we're discrediting. We're not discrediting people, but just some people
No. Well,
show up and they're not on top of their.
Put it this
they're
way:
not bringing their A game.
did he remind either of you of the person who fought Dan Henderson
Oh,
and actually
absolutely
knocked
not.
Dan Henderson down?
No. He knocked me
I-
down though
I-
because I
Yeah.
was fucking
Yeah.
snoring on this couch.
And here's what I told Jimmy and what I told Kevin is something I truly believe. Take these guys who are getting buried on these UFC cards where you have 8 undercard
Right.
fights and then you have the main card. Why do you I would rather fight on TV on Strikeforce than fight on an undercard in front of the ring girl, the guy dropping off beer, and the other one in the back with the cotton candy. Why do you want to fight in front of no one? I would be like, look, I'll go to Strikeforce. I'll go to Strikeforce right now and fight on TV.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Jacare, no one in Strikeforce is getting pressed because there's no talent left.
And
they're not doing anything. They're not promoting it. I mean,
and I
the same
think
intro.
the thing to add on to George's point is, if I am one of those guys, people do watch these Strikeforce fights. You can make a name for yourself
Yeah.
and get a market where people do like you.
Yeah.
Look at Luke Rockhold. But before a year ago, no one knew
Yeah.
who Luke
Who he was.
Rockhold
No.
was.
No. And I'm going to tell you who I don't know who is too after tonight. Scott Smith fought a gentleman named
Where was the real Scott
Lumumba
Smith?
Stairs. Now I'm going to repeat that. Lumumba Stairs, because when I first heard that name, I thought I was watching Thundercats. Oh, because I know they used to fight somebody named Mambra or something, and I was thinking this might be this cat's brother.
I'm going to tell you right
Cats
now.
being
We brought the
Thundercats.
Rocky Mountains
His,
with him.
his,
He
his
brought
hands might have been stone, but that belly was full of jelly.
Oh,
that
Scott
was he
Smith.
looked bad, dude. Stop. That's your 4th
Yeah,
loss. in a row.
hang it up.
Just
Yeah,
He's done.
it's funny. Like at some point in time, you look at some of these athletes, and you're like, okay, it's obvious that they still probably have a passion for the sport.
Let me
but
tell
they
you
don't
what.
have a passion.
I'll tell you what Scott Smith is. He has a handful of candy bars. That's what he's passionate about.
Wow,
Dude, that's the worst we've ever seen him.
And I'll be honest,
I think he's
I'm
just
a fan
fighting
of,
for a paycheck.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
a fan of Scott Smith.
Yeah,
but you know
so
what?
am I.
After that, he needs to hang it up.
Yeah,
I mean that was terrible.
Well, the thing is, you see these guys coming out of shape, and you start going, okay, did you take the fight seriously? Right? Did you just come in to get a fucking paycheck?
Yeah, did they call you earlier in the week and say, hey, you want to fight on Saturday?
Because at some point in time, you're going, okay, no one's going to re-sign me if I drop 4 straight. No one's going to re-sign me if I'm not coming to fight. No one's going to re-sign me if I'm sitting on my knees and hands.
Strikeforce will.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
if I'm Showtime, I'm pissed. If I'm Showtime, I'm looking at Dana White and be like, look, we're going to renew this contract. You need to put on a better product.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this product, and look, I'm not discouraged. I'm not knocking any of the fighters.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, this was not an entertaining card, and that's
No.
truly why we tune in.
I think sometimes it rolls over in the production too. Like if we were sitting there going, "Hey George, you're fighting guppy fights this week," you'd be like, "We don't really need to prepare too much for that. Not too many odds going to be on me. No really future in me with guppy fights. You know, I'm just going to go fucking fight and get my paycheck."
Oh. Randy Couture's son won his first professional fight. Congratulations.
Via TKO, yeah. I mean,
good luck.
Well, he's had a professional fight, but the first one he finished. He won via TKO.
Well, congratulations, young man.
Now, let's speak about some other people who have been known to knock people out. Paul Daley's got 28 wins, 20 knockouts, 20. But, I don't know what happened.
I know what happened. A 40-year-old Japanese man whipped his ass.
I have
a 40-year-old Japanese man whipped his ass.
From the famous words in mouth of Joe Rogan, he went kamikaze on his ass. And I'm just quoting someone else.
I have two major problems with this sport, I put in quotes, because it's the only sport that allows you to take drugs and get away with it. The second is these judges. I don't know where you find these people. I don't know what they're watching. I don't know if it's like they got to speak and spell
agree.
my first judging card.
Spit.
How that Asian cat fucked Paul Daley up for 15 minutes. Paul Daley landed one elbow. You know what that man did? He got up and went, "Let's go," and walked right back across the ring and proceeded to fuck you up again.
Right.
Paul Daley was in reverse
the whole time.
He was scared as shit.
When you see Paul Daley going for takedowns,
you know something's
that says
wrong.
enough.
Yeah, he's panicking.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's he didn't do anything to win around that. No. I don't know what judge created and made it a split decision, but I saw the one judge scored it 20-29 in favor of fucking I don't fucking know his name. Fuck it, I give up. But anyway,
the Japanese guy.
The Japanese guy, and I know that sounds terrible, but deal with it.
Hey, at least we got that right.
Say that shit twice.
It's
That's
like
a fucking tongue.
Mizuki
Go ahead and look at it on the monitor and try to say that shit, George.
Kazu Masaki.
Masaki.
Kazu Masaki. That's not too bad.
Hey, let me tell you, that
Masaki,
man's out doing sake bombs right now because he.
No, that dude right now is getting his head stitched up. That was Paul Daley. I'll give Paul Daley this. Bless you. He got in his guard and did the right thing. He's trying to ground and pound him. Landed one elbow, but the doctors stood him up, and the dude went out and got the thing cleaned out. I mean, the guy used to fight in Pancrase.
Yeah.
That's how long this dude. He fought. His first fight was against the dude who parted the Red Sea.
Moses?
Yes. He's been fighting since George had a Jesus Christ starter jacket. Anyway.
His first fight was before you had children.
I know. That's long.
Whoa. Back in 88.
Let's move on because Paul Daley lost. Sorry.
Yes.
Let's look. KJ Noons showed up, and you know what?
Wow.
He did not have his bouffant. And we were convinced that the real KJ, but the problem is,
he wasn't
Josh
allowed.
Thompson showed up too.
Yeah, KJ Noons was not allowed to showcase any of his talent because Josh Thompson busted a nut all over his kneecaps.
Right.
Dude, my dog doesn't even hump a leg that well.
Taking nothing away from Josh Thompson because he had been up.
No.
Hell no. When you have the fucking sack to go in the middle of the ring and when someone goes, "What'd you think of your performance, Josh Thompson?" He goes, "It was shit. It was shit. I had staph infection." Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit. Just shut up and fight. I had staph infection twice. I changed my fighting style because I got hurt.
I don't know how that translates to him not trying to finish.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, I mean, he won the fight.
Yeah.
Josh Thompson is a great fighter.
Yeah,
I mean, we know
that.
No, Josh Thompson's a great fighter.
He's a great wrestler.
Whatever. He's been the champion at one time, and he's also fought their current champion and beat him one time. I mean, so they could have a rubber match. So he's a good fighter, but that shit.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's going to drive everybody crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it comes a time where they got to say, okay, nothing's being. If you're on the ground, and I have a mad respect for people who have strong ground games, and shit is being done, and you're moving.
Nothing was being done.
But nothing was happening. Stand them fucking up. It's not even Josh Thompson's fault. I'm sorry. It's not. It's the fucking ref. Someone needs to go find that ref, punch him in his fucking
Keith
mouth,
Peterson?
then drive to his house, find his mother, and punch her in the mouth for birthing him.
Let me tell you that 5'2" dude, Keith Peterson.
Is that who was the ref?
Yeah.
Well, then someone needs to just slam him, like nail that motherfucker into the ring. But that's the problem. It's when it's not. I mean, when you see he was working to do something, that's fine.
Yeah, most of the time he was just laying there.
And you know what? If you'd have told me that Josh Thompson hadn't fought for 15 months and he was able to come into the ring and do to KJ Noons what he did tonight, I'd be like, probably not.
No.
So
I mean,
congratulations. You did an excellent job for somebody who's been off for 15 months, but I agree 100% with what you said about your fight tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he did what he needed to do to win the fight, and that's it. Plain and simple.
He did a GSP.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. He did a Greg Jackson-style fighter. Way to win. I need to find a way to win. So he took him down and held his legs together.
Or fight not to lose.
It was
whatever you want. Anyway, the climax of this.
Oh,
whoa!
Probably because Jimmy was rubbing one out as he entered the ring. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you?
What's the female?
Yeah.
that was great.
I'm going to tell you what this. You know what? It was good because it didn't end as quick as we thought. You know what I mean? It was good because I'm going to tell you what. Miesha Tate lost this fight, but she's got a lot of fucking heart, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
she showed more heart than anybody that went in the ring over the last 2 days, 48 hours. Because I saw Alvis tap out pretty quick. I saw somebody else tap out pretty quick.
Scott Smith.
Oh, Scott Smith
tap out pretty quick. But I tell you what, this girl's arm, she didn't fucking tap out.
Twice.
Don't ever tell me a woman can't fight. Don't ever tell me these girls aren't fucking hard and these girls don't want to fucking come to fight, because she said, fuck it, man.
I mean, I could have understood if she would have tapped the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
That arm was bent the first time, badly.
No, in contrast to this shit, Ronda Rousey's for real. She's fucking crafty as shit on the fucking ground. She'll find a way to get you into a fucking judo flip and pull out that Hong Kong Phooey shit, and then she will get you in that fucking arm
she's slippery.
God damn.
I mean, she's slippery. She moves. She's quick, and I think she's got more power than we think.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw coming of this is I hope Miesha Tate can find a way to cut 10 pounds. I don't know if she can, but
to
if
125?
Yeah, because
I hope she can find a way to fix that arm.
Well, fix that arm. But I'm gonna tell you what, watching that was like watching like a 205er cut to 185 and then balloon back. I mean, just Ronda Rousey was so much bigger and so much stronger, and I would like to see, like, and I agree with what Miesha Tate said. She got a little overzealous in the beginning of the fight. I'd have been interested to see what happened if she tried to box Ronda Rousey instead of rush her. And
she bum rushed her.
Why would you bum rush a person who's bigger than you, stronger than you, and will judo toss your ass?
Yeah,
right.
And that's exactly what she did. I mean, if she'd have come in with a little bit different of a game plan, I think, and boxed and tried to stay away.
I think she probably had a different game plan. It was just her emotions. Yeah. You could tell that she was definitely, emotionally invested in that fight.
Well, she was pissed. She hated. They had a lot of animosity towards each other, which makes you. And I thought that Rousey, being the younger girl and the less experienced girl, would probably let that rattle her more and maybe do some stupid shit.
Was
but she
ultra focused.
Mm-hmm. But she also competed at the Olympic level.
Right.
So I mean,
she's
I would
used to pressure.
Yeah, she's used to a big stage with a lot of people eyes on them. Ronda Rousey's going to hold that belt for a while because what's it? Sarah Kaufman has the unfortunate.
She's just little. She just looks like. I mean, I don't see that happening.
No, because we watched what happened to Sarah Kaufman when she fought.
You're going to think I'm crazy, and I said it before. I think the type of person that could give Ronda Rousey some trouble is somebody who could just stay away from her. Like really, really good striker and test her, see if she can take like a Caitlin Young, who's real good at Muay Thai or something.
How do you think Coonan would do against her?
Huh?
What about Coonan? She's a stand-up fighter.
Coonan's a stand-up fighter, but I mean, you saw Miesha Tate caught her.
Right.
I mean,
did y'all just say what would Cooter do against her?
No, not Cooter.
Oh,
I got to put my shit on solid. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's like, it's just unbelievable. I mean,
well, I just wish I wish we could sit here and talk about the litany of women's fighters at 135,
yeah,
but there just isn't.
There isn't.
Well, no,
so what do you say about this? What do you say about if Cyborg comes back? Okay, clean.
Okay,
because she'll have to be clean.
Well, let me. I hate to cut you off, but do you, in all honesty, do you see there being a Strikeforce in a year?
Wow.
I don't think there'll be a Strikeforce a year from now.
I think, I don't know. I think if you think about what we did, if we talked about earlier, like if obviously you got to keep it through the Daniel Cormier.
Well, they're under contract for this year,
right?
Okay.
Through December.
So
right.
through December, Cyborg. When did she get caught?
She got busted in what, January, February?
January,
No.
February.
Was it? It was either
Whatever
December,
her last fight.
January.
It was toward the end of the year. So
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year.
she's sitting out a year.
She sit out a year. I mean, she could still train and prepare.
My
for
thing
something.
is the fight would have to be at 135. Can she suck the weight?
Well, maybe when she's
Because
clean.
you're gonna need a bigger girl like a Gina
That's
Carano.
the thing. If she's clean, yeah, she probably can get to 135.
But then do you have the mental edge? Do you have the ability to train
Oh,
like
no,
the way
she's
she
definitely not going to have the mental edge. It's going to be, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think a lot of people forget. People are like, oh, Cyborg is dominating. When Cyborg was obviously,
Right.
jacked, Marlos Kunin fought her for 3 or 4 rounds. Like, I
Right.
mean, I think a lot of people forget that this girl's, like you said, Marlos Kunin is a good fighter. You know, I mean, she beat Sarah Kaufman. She
Right.
beat all of them regularly, and she went the longest with Cyborg, and she got caught in that fucking arm
I think
bar.
I think if Ronda Rousey runs into somebody who has a little more experience on the ground and a little better ground game, she's gonna have problems.
Yeah. Well, I think she's smart sucking it down to 135.
Oh yeah, no shit.
Oh, yeah,
My
definitely.
my favorite thing about Ronda Rousey is before Cyborg got busted, she was talking cash shit about Cyborg. Oh, I'll fight you at 135 because she knew it was smart. It would be
Right.
hard for somebody like. Can you imagine if you looked at Cyborg or Gina Carano and said we're gonna need you to fight at 135?
Wow.
They
Yeah.
were struggling. Both those girls
were
had
struggling.
issues making 145.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, Gina of all those girls is naturally the biggest one.
she got another movie.
Yeah. Oh, I knew that was going to happen.
Man,
I was
it'll
saying
be-
that shit all
it'll-
along. She's a
it'll be
good girl,
interesting.
and she can act, and she's a good martial artist fighter. I mean, she's got all the skills. We're out, man. I'm getting off the fucking
we
couch
got-
and getting in bed. What'd you
We
say?
got nothing else.
We got nothing for you, man.
Nothing?
As Flavor would say. Nothing for you, man.
Nothing? Oh, Matt Bowen, you're a bitch.
Who's that?
That's the
That's the safety for
Yeah,
the
the-
used to be Redskins who played for Greg Williams,
For the
who
Bounty
ratted out,
Gate?
Yeah,
who
man.
ratted out,
Right up everybody. Yeah.
who ratted out
Fucking blew
Greg
that's my
Williams.
straight whistleblower.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I know we like to say this is over, but let's be serious. For anyone who's followed the NFL since your days where they
Right.
wore leather helmets and rock footballs, there's always been a bounty. There's always the
Damn.
defensive players have always gone out with the intent of knocking out the offensive players.
Yeah.
Now, whether there was money on the table or not, but let me tell you right now, Purple People Eaters, the Steel Curtain,
Oh, yeah.
a Buddy Ball. You don't think Buddy Ryan was
Yeah.
like, look, man, you're
Oh,
not gonna
fucking
do it
the
out
Bears back in '85.
oh hell yeah.
Come
They
on.
were fucking crazy. Yeah.
And
Even the
here's-
Ravens in 2000.
And here's the thing, Matt Bowen, you had a chance to benefit from this process, and now you're throwing the process under the bus.
Why did he do it? Did you even?
I don't
He was in an
understand.
interview, and they were asking him about Greg Williams, and he
Is this
decided
do it
just.
purposely?
Is,
being
is
a-
he retired
he
now,
was
or is he
mad?
still? I mean,
I don't know.
I'm guessing he's
Fucking
not
say that
playing.
shit.
I don't know why players do that. It's the same thing
Yeah.
you running into college.
Right.
Me and you go to the same college. You get a car, I get a car. You get a little more, so now I'm going to narc on the whole thing and piss everyone
Damn,
off,
man,
and now
Kevin's
no
a
one's
straight
getting
bitch,
shit.
man. He got a bigger car than me, man.
'Cause that's what happened
I'm
at
a
Ohio
fucking
State.
4-wheel drive. I didn't get that shit.
Right.
That's what happened at Ohio State. One player, you got disgruntled players who didn't get as much because you're not as good. That's the way things happen.
I mean, well, and the other thing is, I mean, all of us have played sports growing up. I mean, what goes on in locker rooms and what's said in locker rooms is
Stays.
not to really be repeated outside
Right.
of that.
It just stays
I mean,
there.
we all say things and do things.
that's why they were trying to keep you punk ass reporters out of the locker room.
Shit like that one spark off. I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. I'm going to fuck the bed, man.
Night night.
Yeah, man. Peace, guys.